Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be filming a summer bronze makeup tutorial for you. This is perfect if you do have red hair, fair skin like me. These products are going to be perfect if you're looking for that very summer bronze goddess type glow. I have been wearing this makeup a lot recently, especially for things like weddings and nights out, but also just an everyday makeup look. I think it's still really flattering and not too intense and in your face, and especially when the sun's out or if you're going for like a summer evening dinner or something, you're on holiday. This is just really nice, fresh, not too heavy on the base makeup that you can just throw on and go, basically. So I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. I also wanted to mention that I have recently set up a new Instagram account. I have made my original Instagram private because I just want that to be now for like family and friends and like personal updates. So I haven't like removed any of my followers. If you are still following me over there, you will probably see my posts, but I hardly ever post on Instagram. Basically, I wanted to have a place on Instagram where I felt comfortable posting things that were more related to my YouTube or daily vlogs or things like that. So I've been posting a few reels on there so far, and I want it to be very like normal life, just regular everyday life, but I felt kind of embarrassed to post that on my like personal Instagram account that I know basically all my friends and family are on. So if you enjoy watching my videos and you want to see a little bit more from me in terms of that type of content, I will leave my new Instagram account linked below, and please do go and give me a follow. I have currently 0 followers and yeah, just not much is going on that account yet, but I have posted a couple of videos and will hopefully be doing more over the coming weeks. So would really appreciate it if you could go and give me a follow so I don't feel like I'm completely on my own over there. But yeah, thank you so much in advance. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get into the makeup tutorial. So the base I'm going to be wearing today is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation in the shade Shortbread, and then I'm going to mix it with the iconic London Radiance Booster in Shell Glow, and I'm just going to mix a very light concoction, like not go too heavy-handed with my base because I do want to keep this like light, daytime appropriate. It's going to be very like tinted moisturizer-esque. So I tend to take like basically a full pump of that, almost a full pump, and then I just kind of put a little dot on top, and that is basically all the product I'm going to use. And then if I do feel like I haven't got quite enough once it's all on my face, I can always go in and top up. But I much prefer when it is base products, like, well, with any makeup to be honest, I much prefer kind of going in very light to start with like almost not enough and then you can always build it up, but it's hard to take away. I'm just gonna blend that with my IT Cosmetics buffing brush. Oh my god, I can't speak today. Buffing brush, and just kind of blend it all in. Sorry if you can hear any outside noise. It sounds like someone's drilling outside, so apologies for that. I'm hoping my mic is not going to pick that up, but if it does, you know what it is. So the theme for this video is summer bronze makeup, and I feel like in the summer it's so nice to go kind of heavy with the bronzer, and even if you're a redhead, I think you can get away with it as long as you use the right tone of bronzer. So all of these bronzing products obviously work really well for my skin tone and hair color. They will most likely work for you if you're a redhead, but you obviously don't need to be redhead to watch my videos. But yeah, I know it's helpful for other redheads to see like shade recommendations and stuff, so I always leave the shades listed in the description box for people to be able to go and find the exact shade. I'm just going to take a little bit more of the Huda Beauty foundation and just put it right in the center of my face to give a tiny bit more coverage. Next, I'm gonna go in with my NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum in the shade Light. And I'm just gonna put this under my eyes. I'm doing quite a daytime appropriate look today with all of this, but you obviously can make it more evening appropriate, and I will give you some eyeshadow recommendations that I would normally wear with this look, so that if you did want to wear it for a night out or like a wedding or something like that, then you have those options, because I've worn this both with just like the daytime eyes that I'm gonna be putting on today, which is basically just mascara, but I've also worn it with the eyeshadow, and it works really nicely for both. It would be really nice as like an evening makeup when you're on holiday and you're going out for dinner in the evening. I love kind of looking very sun-kissed on those evenings when you're out on holiday. The other base product, which I actually don't have on today but I've been loving the last couple of months, is the Saint-Tropez tanning face spray. I think that's really great if you have a fake tan and you want to like make sure your face matches your body. I've really been enjoying that. So for my first step in the bronzing routine, I'm going to be using this Milk Makeup Sculpt stick in the shade Toasted. This is really great for just contouring, but it kind of helps to sort of layer the bronze, I find. This is really creamy and really easy to blend, but I just like it as kind of like a first step. I'm hoping that you guys can see, because obviously the light is coming in from here. I'm hoping that you guys can see it okay and it's not really blown out. Okay, so once I have on the contour, then I'm gonna go in with my cream bronzer. So I love using the Saie cream bronzer. This is in the shade Light Bronze. I just repurchased a fresh one the other day and it's amazing. I love this bronzer so much. I've been using it for years. I always bring it out in the summertime. I just think it's got such a gorgeous undertone for, like I said, my skin tone. And I just apply it with a really big fluffy brush, and I'm quite kind of like slapdash with it. Like I'm not too precise, and I do put quite a bit on as well because it does blend out so well and it goes quite sheer, and basically by the end of you applying it, it just looks like you've got a really natural sort of bronzy, sun-kissed look to your skin. And then I always like to kind of blend with my fingers a little bit if I feel like it's not quite fully blended. I always run bronzer over my nose as well, because I find that that makes it look a lot more natural rather than you've just placed the bronzer here. It kind of makes it look like the sun has like naturally sun-kissed your face if you make sure that you bronze your nose. So I always do that. Okay, so that is like the base of my bronzer done. And then what I also like to do is go in with a kind of bronzy terracotta undertoned cream blush to complement the bronze look a little bit more. My favorite for this type of look is the Saie Dew blush. This isn't an ad for Saie, I just genuinely love their products, and anyone who has watched my videos a lot will know I use them all the time, these products. This is in the shade Spicy. This is such a beautiful bronzy blush, and it really just makes you look like you've got like a natural sunburn, but in a good way. Again, you can see I've put it on my nose. That's again to just make it look more natural and tie everything together. And then with this one, because it is quite an intense shade, I definitely always like to go over this one with my fingers and just blend it all together. But the Dew blushes are such a gorgeous formula because they're not crazy pigmented in that they're difficult to work with. They do blend out quite easily, but they still have a good like punch to the pigment. They definitely like show up on your skin. You'll notice that I kind of go back in and just like blend out around my neck. I always find that I miss spots on my neck, and you really don't want to be doing that. Next step is to powder. So we're going to set all of that down with the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I use the lightest shade, I think it's Fair. The shade is called Fair, not like it's fair that I wear the lightest shade, obviously. So once that's done, I go in with my powder bronzer. Now, my favorite bronzer at the moment is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. I do have two shades, so I have the Diffused Bronze Light, which is much more my winter shade. It's more of just like a natural kind of milk chocolate brown. And then the other shade I have is Luminous Bronze Light. And this is much more of a summer sun-kissed bronzy, like you're piling it on, very much that like Estee Lauder bronze goddess vibe. I feel like if you've seen the ads for that perfume that they have, like they bring it out every year, and I feel like it's like channeling that vibe basically. So hopefully you can see the difference in shades there. The top one is the Luminous Bronze Light, that's the really sun-kissed bronzy one, and the bottom one is Diffused Bronze Light, which is much more of my natural bronze shade. To be fair, they are both gorgeous bronzers, and I think either would work for this look, but I do think the Luminous Bronze just gives that extra pop of summer, whereas the Diffused Bronze Light is more likely just going to be like a really good everyday bronzer that works whatever your occasion. So I don't think you need both. I happen to have both because I picked up this one first, the Luminous Bronze Light, and then I feel like this didn't work for me in winter, so I did get the mini of the Diffused Bronze Light so that I could have it in winter because I just love the formula so much. But to be honest, any powder bronzer that you have that you love will work for this. A very important step is the type of brush you're going to use. So in order to make this not look super heavy and very overdone and very like stripy, that's what we're trying to avoid. Make sure that you use quite a loose, like fluffy brush rather than a very like dense sort of pointy brush like this. So you want to diffuse the product quite naturally over your face, and I prefer brushes like this. It's got a round top but kind of fluffy and loose at the top. It's not a buffing brush, it's much more loose and powdery. Don't know how else to describe it, sorry. This is from this really old brush from Be Beauty and Superdrug. I doubt they still sell it. But yeah, if you can find a brush that has this kind of shape that is loose and fluffy, that's gonna make more of a difference than the actual bronzer product that you use. The way that I do this is I will be pretty generous with how much I kind of put on, but then I will wipe off a little bit on my arm so I'm not like going straight in with all that and it looks really stripy. So then I will very, very lightly start applying this bronzer to kind of the tops of my cheekbones. Because this brush is quite fat, I don't want to go too low because then I'm going to be applying the bronzer here, and you want to apply the bronzer quite high, just because that's more of a flattering shape, at least for my face shape. And I always bring it up to my temples to just tie everything in. Again, go over the nose pretty generously. I also go down my neck and along my jawline, and I kind of, once I've not got much product left, I kind of go over my ears like that. So again, it doesn't look like there's any stripes anywhere, all looks really nice and blended, and I will tend to like just keep blending over my neck because I don't want any harsh lines or anything. And I'm still like patting out as well. And that is it. That is my like bronze base done. So now I'm just gonna do my eyes and the rest of my makeup. So like I said, if I was gonna do an evening look with this or a wedding where I wanted it to be more glam, I would wear an eyeshadow with this. So the one that I like to wear is Vieve's eye wand, in the shade Camel. It looks really dark and scary on my hand swatched like that, but when you blend it out, it is much more of a very warm, natural brown colour. And I like to just kind of basically draw a little bit on my eyelid, and then I will just blend it out with a brush, and I'll blend until it's a really sheer wash of colour. So it looks super natural and not too over the top, but like you've got some definition on your eye. So that is the eyeshadow that I recommend for this look if you are looking for an eyeshadow to wear with it. But today, like I said, I'm going to keep it very daytime friendly. So I'm just going to go in with this NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick in the shade Deepest Brown. And I'm just going to kind of tap that lightly onto my upper lash line. And then I'm going to blend it out with a angled liner brush. Just more so I have a little bit of, again, definition on the lash line, but nothing too intense. Next, I'm going to curl my eyelashes. And then I'm going to go in with my Glossier Lash Slick. Again, if I was doing like a more glam look, I would go for my iconic London mascara. This is their Triple Threat Black Mascara. Really like that for like a more va-va-voom lash, but this is my everyday mascara. This is the Glossier Lash Slick and I use it in black. And I now only really ever apply mascara to my top lashes because I'm about to turn 32 and I have found that if I apply mascara now to my bottom lashes, it will be all over my face within an hour. I'm not going to bother with eyebrows because I just tend to not wear eyebrow product on an everyday basis, but again, you do you, whatever you guys feel is good for this look. And then for lips, I'm gonna go in with this Glossier lipstick in the shade Trench. This is like a warm brown lipstick, so I thought this would work nicely. And then I am gonna go in with a little bit of the Vieve Lip Dew in the original shade over the top. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, my fave. And this is the finished makeup look. So I will do a little switcheroo and show you what it looks like in front of the window so you can hopefully see the bronziness a little bit better. It's amazing what lighting can do. So I'm now sitting in front of the window and hopefully you can see just the bronze goodness that this look is. I absolutely love this for a summery makeup look, and like I say, you can wear it as just like an evening, going out for dinner, summer holiday nights vibe, or you can like wear it like more daytime appropriate. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.